Let's be real for a second. For so many of us, money is just a constant source of stress. But what if it didn't have to be? In this little explainer, we're going to transform that anxiety into a clear, step-by-step plan for financial freedom.
So let me ask you something. Think about it for a second. When you think about your finances, does it bring you a sense of calm? Or does it kind of tie a knot in your stomach? If it's the second one, you are so not alone.
I mean, these are the things that keep us up at night, right? Taking care of our parents, making sure our kids have a good future, or just trying to get through the month without feeling totally squeezed. But the good news is, and there is good news, there's a way to tackle every single one of these.
And look, this isn't going to be some vague, fluffy advice. This is a practical, step-by-step guide. We're going to make your money work for you and for your future, so you can finally stop worrying and, start living.
Okay, so where do we even start? It all begins right here, with a really simple but incredibly powerful rule for your income. Think of this as the foundation for your entire financial house. It's called the 50-30-20 rule, and it's your very first step to taking back control.
The idea is super simple. 50% of your take-home pay goes to the stuff you absolutely need: rent, bills, groceries. 30% is for your wants, the fun stuff like movies and holidays. And that final, most important 20%, that goes straight into savings and investments.
But here's how you can really level up your plan. Saving 20%, that's good, that's great. But what if you trimmed just 5% from your wants and moved it over to savings? It sounds so small, right? But trust me, over time, that extra 5% is an absolute game changer. It compounds into a massive difference in your long-term wealth.
Okay, so if this rule is so simple, why do so many of us struggle with it? Well, the answer isn't about willpower or being bad with money. It's all about your process. It comes down to the order you do things in.
This is what most people do. You get paid, you pay your bills, you buy some stuff you want, and then you just hope there's something left to save at the end of the month. The problem? Life happens, and a lot of the time there's just nothing left. Saving becomes an afterthought. So here's the secret. You just flip the script. The second your salary hits your bank account, you automatically move that 20% to your savings and investments. You pay yourself first, then you live on whatever's left. That way, if things get tight, the cuts come from your wants, not from your future. This is huge.
All right, hold on. Before we get to all the exciting investing stuff, we have to build our foundation. I know, these next 3 steps might sound a little boring, but I promise you, they are the absolute non-negotiable pillars of your financial security. Skipping them is like building a house on sand.
The very first piece of that foundation is your emergency fund. And this isn't just a pile of cash. This is your I quit fund. It's your oh no, the car just broke down fund. It's the money that lets you sleep at night. It's your financial cushion. It's freedom.
So how much are we talking about? Well, a really solid target is to have 6 to 9 months worth of your essential living expenses saved up. Yeah, that's the needs part of your budget. And you want to keep this cash somewhere safe and easy to get to, but maybe not so easy that you'll dip into it for a pizza on a Friday night. Okay, pillar number 2. Think of this as your financial shield, health insurance. It's kind of crazy when you think about it. We're required to have insurance for our cars, but what about our most valuable asset, our health? A single medical emergency can completely wipe out years of hard-earned savings. You got to think of this as personally mandatory. Let's talk numbers so this is super clear. For one person, a minimum cover of around 10 lakh rupees is a good starting point. If you have a family, you should aim for at least 20 lakh. This isn't some crazy luxury. It's just affordable, essential protection.
And the third and final pillar of our safety net, life insurance. Now listen up, because this is really important. This is only for people who earn money and have other people depending on that income. Its only job is to replace your income if you're not around. Let me say that again. It is not an investment.
So how much do you need? A good rule of thumb is about 15 to 20 times your annual income. And you want a simple, affordable, pure term plan. Forget all those complicated, expensive policies. A pure term plan gives you the biggest bang for your buck, which is exactly what you need.
All right, the safety net is built. The foundation is solid. Now we can finally get to the exciting part, investing. This is how you go from just putting money aside to actually making your money work for you and growing it to reach your biggest goals.
Now, not all investments are the same. It's kind of like having a toolbox. You've got different tools for different jobs. We can split them into 2 main buckets. You've got your low to medium risk tools for shorter term goals, and then you have your high risk tools for those big long-term goals that are more than 10 years away.
For those specific, shorter-term goals, you've got some fantastic safe options. Saving for a wedding in a few years. A fixed deposit is predictable and safe. For a daughter's education, there are special schemes like the Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana. And for your own retirement, things like the Public Provident Fund and National Pension Scheme are amazing long-term, tax-friendly tools.
Now, what about those really big, long-term dreams, like buying a house way down the road? That's where something like mutual funds can be great, because they let you take part in the market's growth over time. And then, only when all your other goals are covered, if you still have extra money, that's when you can think about picking individual stocks for general wealth creation.
So, we've covered the tools, we've covered the strategy. But just having the right plan isn't quite enough. The most important piece of this whole puzzle, and the main reason so many people fail, it all comes down to one single word: discipline. Okay, this slide right here, this is your one-page roadmap. Seriously, I'd pause here and take a screenshot. It puts everything we've talked about in one place, linking every tool to its job and its risk level. This is your go-to cheat sheet for whenever you feel a little lost.
And these are the traps that will absolutely wreck your plan. Procrastination is the #1 killer of dreams. There's always a reason to start next year. The others are just as bad. Chasing the thrill of risky day trading, thinking you can outsmart the market, and just not sticking to the simple, automated plan you set up. Success here isn't about being a genius. It's about being consistent.
Look, at the end of the day, this whole plan, this whole path to freedom, it all hinges on one simple thing: starting. It doesn't matter how old you are. The best time to start was yesterday, but the second best time is right now. As this final thought says, life's train moves really, really fast. Please don't get left behind. Take these steps, build your plan, and start your journey today.